Hey, welcome back. Has anyone else noticed the price of lawn care products and equipment going up, or is it just me? That's right, just like everything else, inflation's hitting our lawn care hobby, and I want to talk today about 5 tips that I've got that'll help you save some money and fight that inflation this year when it comes to taking care of your lawn. So let's get right into them. All right, so just to give you a few examples, the fertilizer that I like to use on my Bermuda lawn and really my whole lawn is a Vigoro product from Home Depot. So last year I made a video on it early in the season and it cost me $42 for a bag of that fertilizer that covers 15,000 square feet. It was a great deal. It still is a pretty good option compared to some fertilizers out there, but this year that same fertilizer is going to run you almost $57 for a bag. So that's a $15 increase in just 1 year. That's over 35%. I'd say that's a little bit higher than inflation. All right, so another example, I bought my 2021 Toro Time Master about halfway through the season then, so it had already seen some price increases, but it was about $1,100 when I purchased that machine. So very expensive machine even then to me, but now that same machine is going to run you anywhere from $1,500 to $1,600 depending on the options and where you buy that at. So again, you're going to start seeing a theme. That's $400 increase on the Toro Time Master in just a year and a half, and that's over 36% increase. So again, the prices of the lawn care equipment and the products are all seeming to outpace the inflation. All right, so I think 2 examples is enough. You get the idea. It's going to be the same with almost anything that you look at right now. So while I can't do anything about the prices of those products, I can give you 5 tips that I'm using this year to help fight inflation and reduce my costs in the lawn and landscape. So let's get right into them. Okay, tip number 1, so buy cheaper products. While this may seem really obvious, this is a great way that you could help to fight your inflation in the lawn care products and the lawn care costs. There's a lot of cheaper options out there. So what I'm doing is avoiding the specialty online products. Those can be very expensive per pound. And I've got an example. I'm also going to change my fertilizer. Once I run out of a bag of the Vigoro that I had from last year, I'm going to go with a cheaper product that comes from Walmart. It's an Expert Gardner product and it's a 3004, so it's going to be what I need to get a good bang of nitrogen for the buck. And I can get a 33 pound bag for about $30, $31. So that's going to reduce my fertilizer costs actually below what it was last year using that Vigoro product. Sure, I'll have to use a bag and a half, but I'm still going to come out cheaper with my applications over the year. Just to break down the math on the dollars per pound, this is not nitrogen. So the Walmart product compared to like an online specialty product, so 92.2 cents per pound for the Expert Gardner Fertilizer. Still going to give you a nice green lawn. It's got iron in it, so it's going to work. Compare that to a product from an online like a Yard Mastery flagship. You're paying almost $70 for a bag of that product. That's $1.55 per pound of that product. So, if you like it, great. If you want to spend your money, but that's a huge difference in cost, and you can really save some money by going to your local Walmart and just buying that Expert Gardner Fertilizer instead of the online stuff. Tip number 2, so avoid organics. That's right, avoid that crap. As I heard on another video, it's expensive. It's really astronomical how much you would spend this year. If you have a yard like mine of about 18,000 square feet of turf, let me tell you how much one application of a product like Milorganite would cost me compared to the Expert Gardner Fertilizer that I can get at Walmart with pretty much the same kind of results. So $17 right now, I think, is what I'm seeing for a bag. I've seen up to 25 some places, so I don't know, that may vary greatly on where you live in the country. But for me down here in the Southeast, it's somewhere between $17 and $25 for one bag of Milorganite that covers 2,500 square feet. So I'm gonna need around 7 bags to fertilize just one app on my lawn. That's gonna run me somewhere between $119 to $175. I don't think so, not on my lawn this year. I'm not putting that crap on my lawn, just don't do it. So one app of Expert Gardner, about a bag and a half or a bag and a third or so, is only going to run me about $45, give or take. $45 compared to $120 to $175. I could fertilize my lawn for the entire season with Walmart Expert Gardner compared to what it would cost me for just one app of Milorganite. So avoid the organics right now. Let's do it 1 yard at a time and drive that cost down so people that want to go organic can use it again. But stick with the synthetics if you want to save money and fight inflation in your lawn this year. Tip number 3, don't go electric. Don't do it, not yet. So let me talk more about that. So the prices are way inflated on all lawn equipment, but they're even more inflated on electric equipment. And a good example is, a few years back, I bought the same 2 mowers. I bought a Toro 22-inch recycler mower in gas, and then I bought the Toro 22-inch recycler mower in electric. At that time, it was about $120 price difference. Well, it's a lot further gap right now. That same 22-inch Toro recycler gas is $479 right now if you go to Home Depot and buy it. So if you want that exact mower in the electric version, you're gonna pay $649. That's a $170 difference just to get an electric mower that may or may not last long enough to mow your yard. I'll link a video in the description below about how the electric did not do what I needed it to do in my lawn. That doesn't mean it may not work for yours, or your local area may require that you buy electric. I don't know, but if you have the choice, don't go electric yet. Think about TVs, like flat TVs in the early 2000s. 50-something inch TV would have cost you multiple thousands of dollars. Well, how much does that 50-something inch TV cost you now? It's $300 or so. So now, will you see that same kind of price drop with lawnmowers? Absolutely not. You're not going to see that. But what I think will happen at some point is you'll see the prices of gas and electric start getting more in line. At least they should. So I would say right now, avoid buying electric. If you can, honestly, avoid buying any equipment this year if you can. This is one of those years it's great to really just love what you got. All right, so tip number 4, this is a little bit related to the first tip I had on products, but 2 things really that you need to think about reducing this year, and that's product usage and water usage. So let's talk about the product usage. How can you reduce the amount of products that you put into your yard? One easy way that comes to mind that everybody kind of knows about, but maybe you don't do it, is mulching your clippings. So if you've got a mulching lawnmower and you return those clippings to your lawn, you can actually reduce some of the fertilizer needs that you require, and you're going to save some money by doing a little bit less fertilizer apps. So if you mulch your clippings into the lawn, maybe adjust how much fertilizer you're putting down. Don't do the bag rate. Put down what you need to have a nice looking green lawn, and maybe even think about skipping an app during the middle of that hot summer where you're not getting enough rainfall and you don't want to push too much growth. So return those clippings to the lawn, save a little bit of money on your products. Another thing on products is, time them right. So don't put down fertilizer, let's say on your Bermuda lawn right now, when it's almost dormant. You're just wasting your money. Use pre-emergence instead of post-emergence. So a properly timed pre-emergent is going to save you a lot of time and money on spraying expensive post-emergent products. Okay, so when it comes to watering, you want to reduce the amount of water. Water has gotten very expensive as well. I found that out even last year. I'm kind of scared to look at it this year once I start running irrigation. So I'm going to reduce the amount of water that I'm putting on my lawn through irrigation by only watering a couple of times a week as necessary. Also, I'm going to use my rain gauge religiously. Hey, even consider letting the lawn stress just a little bit. One of the things you see on YouTube a lot is people talk about how letting the lawn stress a little bit, and I don't mean let it dry out and die. Let it stress just a little bit so those roots push deeper and try to find that deeper water. That is a good way to save money and hopefully strengthen up your lawn, so consider doing that as well. All right, my last and final tip, tip number 5, and this is really the most important one. If you take anything away from this video, I want you to take away tip number 5, and that's stick with the basics. So there's all kind of extra stuff you're gonna see out there. There's things that people are telling you to do to your lawn before it's even growing if you're here in the South and have Bermuda. All right, so think about everything you do in your lawn costs money. So even if you're running your equipment an extra time to do a pre-scout, that's costing you time and money because you put fuel in your lawnmower. So cut out things that aren't needed. So some of the biostimulant products that are really promoted and pushed here on YouTube, they're great. I've used them in the past, but they're definitely not needed. You can cut those out. Just stick with your basics. I'm going to link below my video I did last year on 5 basics to a nice Bermuda lawn. And really those 5 basics are all that you actually need to do to have a nice Bermuda lawn. A lot of the stuff is extras that you can do if you want to. You can buy a big load of sand and level your lawn. You can spray biostimulants. You can spray all kind of pesticides and herbicides, and you can just go crazy spraying something down on that lawn just about every 2 or 3 days. But I'm here to tell you that you can cut that stuff out. If you want to save money this year, just stick with the basics. And another good tip, when it comes to sticking with the basics, you're going to be saving one of the most valuable things of all, and that's time. So you could take this extra time that you would have been putting an extra app of something down on your lawn, you can spend it with your family, you can spend it making more money if you want to get a part-time gig or do something on the side. So consider just sticking to those 5 basics that I've got this year to help save you valuable time and money. Okay, so that's really it. Those are my 5 tips on how I'm going to fight inflation and save some money this year with my lawn care. There's literally hundreds of tips that I could cover, so I'm sure you've got some. Please help out the fellow lawn care enthusiasts on here and drop them down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that. I'll be doing a lot of the 5 basics in my lawn and doing detailed videos this year and just kind of showing what's going on in my lawn and landscape. So follow those 5 tips to beat inflation. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.